What jersey you rocking there?
I am rocking the disgraced politician by the name of Kevin Johnson.
Okay, I like it. Very specific.
um, let's get started. JP, I have to tell you something, and I don't think most interviewers or any interviewer may tell you this, but us talking right now, my life has made a full 360. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
I never thought in a million years that I would be having a conversation with the grandson of Janos Starker.
Oh,
Now,
wow. Okay.
here's the reason why I know who your grandfather is. And for people who don't know who Janos Starker is, he is a legendary cellist, amazing. Do you know how many times I listened to your grandpa play Suite Number 1 in G major by Bach because my grandparents absolutely loved it?
Amazing.
Amazing. I mean, the whole box set and everything. So, like, that was my childhood. So to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm in the radio, and now I interview his famous grandson. It's
were your grandparents or parents classical musicians?
no, they just love the music.
Amazing. Yeah, I used to listen to his recording of the Bach suites every night before I went to sleep. That's what my parents put on when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. I love that. It doesn't happen very often that my music and my grandfather's musical world cross paths, because, you know, there's such a distinction between classical music and the pop music world. They very rarely meet one another, but, you know, he's my hero. So it makes me really happy that you have a relationship with him too.
Oh yeah, like he was amazing. He's, you know, so it's
Cool.
it's funny when I got the email like, hey, like, do you want to interview JP Saxe? And I was like, the grandson of Janos Starker? Of course I do. Why wouldn't I?
That's amazing. That makes me really, really happy. You know, I have his Grammy for his recording of the Bach suites sitting on top of the speakers in my studio as an inspiration and a reminder of the values with which I would like to always make music. Because although, you know, being a classical cellist and being a pop songwriter are different art forms, you know, I'm endlessly inspired by the approach he brought to his music and the belief that getting to the absolute nuances of beauty was a lifelong endeavor worth everything.
Right.
And I try and think about the details and the emotional integrity of songwriting the way he approached the cello. And I leave it there in my studio as a reminder of that.
That's awesome. Now, before your grandfather passed, God bless his soul, was there ever any advice that he may have given you that you may incorporate in your music now or in your music making process?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's ever anything he articulated to me specifically, but just something that he embodied in the way he lived his life, which was, you know, art is such an expression of our humanity. And I think he used his art and his music as a way to contribute to the humanity of himself and the people around him. And the way that he, you know, he was such an accomplished performer, but he was also a teacher for 50 years.
Right.
And he just believed in the merit of music. And as so many students, there are a few cellists in the world who weren't touched by my grandfather in some way or another. Right. And he always used to say this thing, carry the flag. That was like, he would say, carry the flag. But he would say it to his students of the cello, but he would also say it to his students who, you know, went and became doctors or lawyers or writers, because it was about that philosophy. It was about that belief system that, you know, whatever you do it with a commitment to beauty and humanity and in your craft. And I think that's something that no matter what I'm doing, I try and hold on to.
You just gave me some damn life advice. Dang. That's so awesome. Now, your record with Julia, If the World Was Ending, beautiful, beautiful record. I mean, the mix of you, Julia, along with the genius of production that is Phineas, is just, it's a perfect flowing record. It sounds like something you'd hear like on a movie soundtrack. How long did it take the process for you guys to make the record?
Julie and I wrote it in about an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
We wrote it on the day we met. We wrote it on the day we
Wow.
met. We had a conversation. We sat at the piano, and the song came together. It was recorded by Benjamin Rice, who did all the vocals and the piano. And then we took that demo, and we loved it so much. And we were having a conversation about who would be the right producer for it. And Julia had just worked with Phineas on "Lose You to Love Me," so she thought that he could be the right fit. We sent him the demo, and he loved it too. And it all came together.
Yeah, I feel like Phineas is starting to become like our generation's David Foster.
In some ways.
In some ways,
yeah.
not always, but in some ways.
It's funny. I was just with, I had a socially distanced coffee with an artist named Ash this morning. He's a friend of mine.
Mhm.
And we were talking about Phineas too, because he worked with her on some of her music. And yeah, I think I love that, you know, he's one of the biggest producers in the world right now, and he's become that by just doing shit that he loves.
Right.
And I love that. And I think if that's the example of what music continues to be and what continues to win, I think music's going to look real good for the next 10 years.
Absolutely. Now, your EP, Hold It Together. Now, I had a chance to really like dissect it, and I can tell that it's very honest, it's well written, yet it's simple, and it's not sonically complicated, and it finds these ways to like touch the heart, because I can tell that it sounds so personal and it's so well done. Is the song 3 minutes? Is the song 3 minutes about Julia?
It is.
It is? Okay. I kind of got that. I kind of got that vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very subtle. I'm dating my favorite artist and songwriter, and that song is a love song about just that.
You're turning red, bro. You're turning red just talking about it.
I love her a lot. You know, a second ago she was standing on the other side of the window trying to make me laugh as I was talking to her, and I was like, no, I'm focused, baby. I'm doing this interview. You are not throwing me off. She just has no respect or adherence to me trying to be serious in any capacity. She's like, you're cuddling me. Get off your interview. But yes, that song is about her. And I mean, the whole EP, like my guiding principle, and this is all very much rooted in our initial conversation of my grandfather, is telling the truth in this music, and not, you know, I don't, and to your you're speaking to being sonically simple. I think that's all rooted in this idea that I want it to be, I want it to make you feel something personal in yourself. I'm not trying to impress you with anything I know or anything I can do, because trying to impress you makes you think something about me. And I don't want the music to make you think something about me. I want it to make you think something about yourself. So I try to stay out of the way, and I do so by just like trying to have as honest a conversation in the music as possible, as if I was talking to my best friend or talking to myself.
I think that is just the perfect formula that I think any upcoming artist or even any seasoned artist should take away, is the fact that don't make it about you, make it about trying to express that feeling that you're trying to project from the music. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think so much of growing up as a musician, there's this focus put on being talented or being gifted. It's like all about like, if it's a skill set that you have. And, you know, and I think in some ways that can be detrimental, like, you know, prioritizing like the talent shows and the competitions, because, you know, it kind of gives you this idea that it's about how good you are at it.
Right.
And I don't personally think the artists that we grow up loving, or that we find the most connection with, it's because how good we think they are at it. It's because of what they make us feel when we listen to their music. And I think that's, you know, sure, you have to have like a certain agency with your instrument, with your voice, with your writing ability. But I think ultimately those are all tools to try and, you know, get to the bottom of what it feels like to be yourself, so people can feel that in themselves when they hear it.
That's awesome. God, you become, damn, JP. You have me over here making me think. You need to do like a TED Talks on this.
Dude, I'm 2 coffees in before breakfast, so my mind is both moving like too quickly, but also my body's like, excuse me, we're a functioning creature here. We need nourishment. And I think that's really contributing to like how rambly of an interview you're getting from me right now.
No, I love it, dude. I'm all about it. That my interview.
Right, we're here.
Yeah, my interviews are raw and just honest. I just, it's not the typical, so what have you been doing during the quarantine? Did you, like you've probably heard that 10 million times. It's like, let's get personal.
I certainly have not I've not been asked about my grandfather 10 million times, and that's special for me.
Awesome. That's what I try. That's what I try to do, man. That's what I try to deliver.
Really cool.
Speaking of pandemic, I'm going to go there, but obviously, you and Julia were probably locked down together. Is there a secret like duet EP or album that you guys maybe recorded or put together?
I mean, we're both working on albums right now. So there are a few songs on my album that she's written with me. There are a few songs on her album that I've written with her. We've been, one of the benefits of being locked in with your favorite songwriter is that sometimes we both get a little antsy to create, and then we just pick up an instrument and see what happens.
That's awesome. Now, I know, you being the grandson of Janos, you've probably played a bunch of different instruments, or at least learned how to play the cello. Have you thought of maybe incorporating that into some of your music?
So I haven't played the cello since I was like 12. I played the cello from age 9 to 12, and I stopped doing it because it wasn't for me. And also my grandfather told me I started too late at 9.
Really?
But as soon as I picked up the cello, it gave us a way to connect. So I was like 10 years old, like going with him to his master classes. So then when I stopped playing the cello at around 12 and started playing jazz piano, is what I moved to. We had already built a relationship, and it was funny. There was a moment where he wasn't sure whether he should support my endeavor to, go into jazz piano at the time. So he asked the head of the jazz department at Indiana University, an incredible man named David Baker, to come to the house and listen to me play the piano, to tell him if what I was doing had merit and he should give me his support. So this illustrious man, David Baker, comes to the house, and I'm sitting at the piano, and I played him Georgia on My Mind. And he liked it. He told my grandfather that I was good. And from that point forward, I had his blessing and his full support.
Who's your favorite jazz artist?
Probably Oscar Peterson.
Okay, good. That's a good pick.
As a Canadian pianist, Oscar Peterson is he's kind of the hero.
Yeah.
Or Keith Jarrett, maybe Bill Evans, Thelonious Monk, mostly pianists.
Most pianist word. Yeah, I'm more of a Miles Davis guy. I just love the beautiful tragedy that is his story. It's just so insane.
Yeah.
So since this has been a complete gnarly year and it's thrown everybody off their game and has pretty much ruined everyone's plans. What does the rest of the year look like for you? Is it just finishing the album? Maybe try to do videos. I don't know. What's on the? I'm
gonna put out another song in the next month or so.
Okay.
The next song is one of my favorites I've ever done.
Oh.
Really, really excited for it. And then potentially I'll put out an album before the end of the year. Maybe topping next year, but I'm gonna try and get it out before the end of the year. Nice. I built a little studio in my home, so me and my main collaborator, Ryan Marone, have been digging on all this music, writing a bunch of new stuff, but also just taking an opportunity to look through the songs that I've written over the last few years and put together an album that, will be my first album. The EP was the first body of work I put together, and I was super proud of it and loved, the opportunity 6 songs gave me to share something about myself. And now that I'm looking at like 12 to 15 songs, it's, I want to make something that has as many different parts of what it feels like to be myself as possible, and really create something, push the boundaries of how honest I can be in this music.
Yeah. I mean, you coming off the EP, your EP was great. So, you should, have a lot of confidence, you know, going into making this album. Cause like I said, the EP is done so well.
Thank you. You know, part of all of our quarantine routines is binging TV shows, and my favorite one was Fleabag. And I got so into Fleabag that I was watching interviews with Phoebe Waller-Bridge on the internet. And there's one interview where she says that she knows that something is good and worth pursuing if it makes her uncomfortable. And it really stuck with me. And it's actually like that, seeing that interview like inspired the next couple songs where I just, you know, those thoughts, those ideas that were like, fuck, is that too personal? Is that too much? And it's like, no, like this is my responsibility as an artist is to represent my humanity. And if I'm representing a sugar-coated version of it, then I'm not doing my job.
All right. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is JP Saxe. Okay. And he is now my new, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You are now my, God, my mind's gone blank, but like you have pretty much motivated me now for the rest of my day. You've dropped all these gems and now I'm just like, where's JP Saxe been my whole life? See, that's why I grew up listening to your grandpa's music, because we knew, the universe knew one day this was going to come and you were going to give me some of my best life advice.
Well, yeah, one day we'd be on a Zoom call in the middle of a pandemic talking about our ancestors and their love of classical music. That would have been a hard one to call 10 years ago.
Right. Well, JP, I'm not
defeated Suns jersey. If I had known you were going to be rocking the Suns jersey, I would have put on my Raptors jersey. And my Raptors jersey is Fred VanVleet, and he had a career high 36 points against the Miami Heat yesterday. Ooh. Big moment for Freddie. Steady Freddie.
I almost wore my Vancouver Grizzlies jersey.
That would have been cool.
I almost cool. And I something like put the Suns jersey on. Okay. But everyone, JP Saxe, check out his song "If the World Was Ending" if you haven't already. We're playing it here at Moving 92.5. We absolutely love the record, JP. And the EP "Hold It Together" is out. So everyone, please check that out. It is a beautiful, beautiful body of work. JP, you're the man, dude. And when all this is done, you got to come by Seattle and come hang out, man. I really appreciate you.
I would love to come by and meet you for real in Seattle. Thank you for supporting the song. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate the love so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, man, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your week, friend.
Thank you. You too.
Yep.
See you soon. Peace.